Hello and welcome to this Sunday, April 8th edition of the Portal Hunter Club. I am your Portal Hunter Master and Commander Drew, Agent Red Fox 1701. Welcome everyone. We now have completed the Dark XM Cure project, and we're here talking about everything that happened in the finale. Later on, we're going to be talking about Ingress Prime, the anime that's coming up, and some of the other stuff that was talked about during the XM Festival in Fukuoka on yesterday and Saturday. And also, I did a Ask Me Anything topic that was on Monday. Yeah, because Andrew Krug was not available, so I hosted my own for the show, and I'll be going through the questions and replying live to the answers. So let's get started. Let's talk about the Dark XM Cure project scoreboard. So yesterday we had the finale of the city links. We had 13 city links for each team. Oh yes, the intro music was made by this amazing band called the Moonrats, made by the band Moonrats. So I'll be posting some of their info in my bio. If you like their music, check them out. They happen to be my brother's band, and they were wonderful enough to make a song for the show. So thank you, Brent. And we'll be playing that in the beginning and the end of the shows now. So thank you, Moonrats. So moving along to the Dark XM Cure project, we had 13 city links per faction. And we also had the portal count competition, and this was the final event. Each of those city links was worth 2 points, and we had the portal count competition. So let's get to the scoreboard here. Okay, so at the end of the day, the Resistance scored 75 points, and the Enlightened scored 55 points. So the Resistance have won the Dark XM Cure project, and they will get special intel leading up to the next series of anomalies, and we're going to be talking about the anomalies soon. There's a lot of stuff going on with the anomalies, and they're huge events. Lots of people go to those. So congratulations, actually. Yeah, congratulations to the Resistance. I got my victory scarf here. Congratulations on winning the Dark XM project. It was a very, very hard fought battle. There was a lot of, not a lot, I guess, but there was disagreements on strategies and things, which I'm sure the Enlightened had a lot of disagreements themselves on how to do things. But in the end, the Resistance prevailed. So let's talk about that month as a whole. The first 2 weeks, you had the Link Stars. And the Link Stars were very much a locally grown event. You know, you had to get your local communities. The vanguards told various cities which ones had to do Link Stars, and there wasn't a lot of global coordination. There wasn't a lot of regional stuff. It was very much like, hey, your city is going to do one of these. Get your folks together. Do what you can. You had to get the 50 links in, and you would score 1 point for your city, and if you were able to score your Link Star, you would get to move on to phase 2 with the city links. So thinking back about the Link Stars, it was very difficult to defend against the Link Stars. I think it was very much it was a game of, if you knew what you needed to do, you had to try and keep it as quiet as possible so that the other team didn't find out. Basically, if there was any leaking or any signaling to the other team, that was basically the death knell of your Link Stars. So, thinking back, Asia, I think the Enlightened didn't score any of theirs, or they might have scored one. There was one Resistance Link Star in Russia that was blocked. And then there was a Resistance one in Calgary that the Enlightened coincidentally fielded over, which is a successful defense on their part. If you were defending, it was very difficult to know what was going on. You really had to monitor what was happening. You had to have people out and about. But I think that the portal count competition really helped with that. I mean, the first week, I don't know if you saw our broadcasts in previous episodes. Our local team here in Milwaukee, we got a whole bunch of people together. We, scoured the town. We took all of downtown. We took all, we got our community together and we decided, hey, we're going to do this. We're going to take over as much as we can. And we're just going to, go forward and capture as many portals. And if the Enlightened happened to be doing a link star here, then we would be there to respond to it. So I think that was sort of the defense of the link stars had to do with your involvement in the portal count competition. But again, it was tricky because you didn't really know what time things were going to happen. So it was like when I'm trying to explain this to people locally, it's okay, there might be a link star and it might be from, well, at the time, we didn't really know the time. It was sort of narrowed down a little bit throughout the week, but it was sort of like, from noon until 6 o'clock p.m., we didn't really know what was going to be happening. And people are like, well, I'm not going to be sitting around driving around for all this time. So, so we decided to make an event out of it, get everyone in a van and just drive around and capture as much as we can. And then if the Enlightened happened to have a link star here, we would see all of the alerts. Everyone's phones would be starting to go off, and then we'd instantly respond to that area. So, like I said, the link stars were very difficult to defend against. I think it was a pretty easy task to do for a team if you were able to coordinate it. I mean, if you look, unfortunately, in Minneapolis, if you look, the Resistance planned a fake link star that they were out and about for and doing to try and fake out the Enlightened. The Enlightened were able to score their own link star in the same town. And so, they had people out, they had a plan, they had a lot going on, and they still weren't able to defend. So I think it's one of those things that it was either the luck of the draw, like in Calgary, or, getting your folks motivated. So then moving on to the City Link competitions, again, it wasn't really so much of a global effort. It was more of a, both towns knew what they had to do and they worked with their people working together. It sort of broke up the normal top down, like, here's what you have to do to win. It was more up to those local cities to kind of figure out, get their people together again and, use the knowledge. And there's already a lot of regional, communities and partnerships and things. So being able to link from one town to the other wouldn't be that difficult in theory. Niantic did say that these city links were going to be from the middle of cities, and it'd be tricky to clear. If there was one that was coming out of Milwaukee, we'd obviously be able to see some of the stuff happening in town, but where it was going to go, it was sort of difficult. So again, defense was very difficult. But I think defending against a city link was slightly easier because you had, these long links between cities. You could sort of see where things were happening in cities, and you had large blocking links in regional areas that if you saw those go down, you kind of knew what was happening in the area. So I think it was difficult, but not as difficult as the link stars to block. So that's sort of my in-depth analysis on the various, the link stars, the city links, etc. The portal count competition, that was interesting as well. There were some disagreements with some folks that I was talking to about how to best go about, do we let our score, because it was all about the delta, the change in the portals, and do we let our score settle so that we could have a higher delta next week? Because if we take too many this week, then we have to take even more the next week and even more. But for the Resistance, it ended up working out. And I think there was a lot of great community building in the Resistance. They had that 2 million portals challenge. So they wanted to, get the global community at large to try and gather collectively 2 million portals. And they were able to succeed that goal. I think they got 2,024,000 something. So, events like that are very successful. You get this was very much a locally grown competition. It was all about your local teams, getting your communities together, and it's going to be important because soon the anomalies are coming, and a lot of this logistical stuff, farming, getting your people together, how to. This was very much a preparation for the anomalies that are coming this summer. So, and we'll definitely talk about those as we hear more about them. I do have some pictures from some of these link stars. So let's cut to some Enlightened link stars here. So this one was in, I think, I want to say, I forget where this one is from. I think this one was in Europe. That was Germany to, I can't remember. Looks like a very successful city link, and they did a little bit of a link star there. Cool. Little link star there too, and there's a cool statue there behind them. Here's one in Asia. So that was, I think it was the Philippines down to. There's so many cities to remember with these things. But again, you had link starring going on and a lot of rails and things. You got to get those links, kind of tunnel your way so that nothing else can break through. And then once that's set up, then you can shoot your main link there. So congratulations to the Enlightened. I think yesterday each team was able to succeed in all of their link stars except for one. So their city links. So Asia, both the Resistance and the Enlightened missed one. In Europe, it was the same. In Americas, I think it was the same too. So it was more difficult. Like I said, it was difficult to defend, but not as difficult. You saw less. The link stars, pretty much every link star happened. But with the city links, there were a few that didn't go through and were successfully blocked. I think, pretty sure the Midwest Resistance successfully blocked that. The Enlightened link from Indy to Columbus or something, or it was somewhere in Ohio that they were stressing out trying to block that, and I'm pretty sure they were successful. Correct me if I'm wrong. Enlightened, be sure to correct me if I'm wrong if the Midwest Resistance failed in that. So yeah, I do have Resistance link star pictures as well. Here's William, and this was in Canberra. Canberra had linked to somewhere else in Australia. So they were pointing the direction of their link, and then you have the other side of the link right there. So you have teams on both sides of their continent helping each other out, and it's to me, that's one of the coolest things about the game is you have people on this side of the country and this side of the country, and they're working together. And they're sort of like the link kind of brings them together. So I don't know, it's a cool experience. What else do we have here? There was India. India had some very successful links, city links. So there's some pictures of the agents there, enjoying their time in India. And what else have we have? In this was over Switzerland. If you can see that long blue link there, the Resistance used an airplane to successfully take down one of the links blocking their city link. So congratulations to them. I myself have been involved in a couple of Air Force operations for the Resistance. Most notably, there was a helicopter that we rented for the Charleston. We rented that for Charleston Anomaly, and I helped with that. So, yeah, Indy to Pittsburgh was the Enlightened block link. So, yeah, it's a cool time. It gets, like I said, it gets your local communities, local teams together, watching and helping out with events. The anomalies coming forward are going to be very important for the teams, and this was a very good event to kind of get people amped up and ready to go. Feel free to call in, email us. If you want to talk about your experiences with the city links and that kind of stuff, or with the link stars. Yeah, so the number is 414-207-6278, or you can email us portalhunter@resradio.net. Feel free to tell us, what did you do to help with the Dark XM Cure project? What does your local community do? Were you involved in a Link Star? Were you involved in, whatever you guys were involved in? I want to hear about it, and we want to talk about it, whether you're Resistance or Enlightened. Um, let's hear some of these stories, because that's one of the coolest things about this game. Okay, so moving on. In Japan, they had the XM Festival in Fukuoka. It's a city on the southern island of Japan, and they had sort of a flash shard type event, and that was going to be the tiebreaker for the Dark XM project. So that was worth, I think, 2 points, and that was sort of going to be the tiebreaker if it came down to it. The cool thing, though, was a lot of Niantic executives were there, and they had a presentation about Ingress Prime, which is Ingress 2.0, and the Ingress anime that's coming out. So let's talk a little bit first about the Ingress. Let's talk about the Ingress anime first. So I think they announced in October that they're working with some anime studios to produce a new anime series, which I think will be really cool. Something to get people into it and watching. Let's see if I have. No, I have pictures. Yeah. Okay. So here's John Hankey and another Niantic person. They're introducing themselves with the characters of the anime there in virtual reality. So that's kind of a cool little thing. And we have here's some character cards. So they were distributing character cards for the characters and getting people amped up for the anime series that's coming out. I think that'll be a cool thing. I'll be definitely be watching. It's something to something else to do with this game. Watch the anime series and everything, and so that's coming up. And I do have so I have to apologize for the quality of the video, but we had some secret reporters there that were watching the announcements and things. So here is the first glimpse at the Ingress anime. So there you have it. It's the animation test of the Ingress anime coming out in October. I think that looks pretty badass. So I'm really excited for this. There's a question in the chat. Is it going to be as Enlightened centric as the storyline happens to be? So one thing about the Ingress storyline is it has to do a lot with the team that wins the anomalies and what happens to the sensitives based on that. So the Enlightened have been winning quite a few anomaly series lately, and I think that's why the storyline has slowly drifted toward the Enlightened narrative. Back in 2013, 2014, yeah, the Resistance won the 2 full years of anomaly series, and so the narrative back then was very much shifted toward the Resistance. You had Ada taking over Clue's mind. Ada wanted to take over the minds of Resistance agents and things. You had the development of AI and testing the Ingress players to see if they could handle computer knowledge, and that Ada wanted to take over everyone's mind. And so I think there's very much a narrative toward AI machines, that sort of thing. Since the Enlightened have been winning, the narrative has shifted more toward the Enlightened narrative. That's my take on what's going on. But maybe the way the Anomaly series happen coming up, that will shift the narrative of the anime series. I don't know. I don't know much about it, so I guess we'll watch and see what happens. so there was also, let's cut back to this. So there were also demonstrations of Ingress Prime. Ingress Prime is Ingress 2.0, and it's going to be a completely redesigned, reimagined app and game. They want to work toward, they've always said they want to work toward feature parity, which means, whatever you can do in the game now is what you're going to be able to do launch day. They're not going to add any flashy special stuff, maybe one or two little things to tease people, but they want to get it to where the game is now so that in the future they can greatly expand what's going on. So they were explaining the differences, with the scanner, with the inventory, showing pictures of things. And then, another thing that's really cool is SoftBank is promoting a virtual, they call it mixed reality. They're promoting a mixed reality Intel map so that you wear these goggles and you have other people in the room with you, and you sort of have the Intel map on a table as the chessboard. So you can have a bunch of people in a room, they can all look at the Intel map. It'll show portal statuses, it'll show you can do the link testing thing where you can see if your link is blocked with other links, all in mixed reality is what they called it. So you're able to be in a room with people and sort of plan out operations like you're some sort of cool anime guy with your holographic table thing there. So I think that's kind of a cool thing, and it's one step closer to the virtual reality that we all wanted, where you're walking down the street and you can see the portals and you can interact with them. And it's something I know Niantic way back, think about Google Glass, you got this thing here. I know they were developing an app for Ingress for Google Glass, but it just didn't end up panning out. Google Glass didn't really go the way of that people wanted to, and they sort of let that go by the wayside. But what they really want is the cool, you're in a room, you can see the portals, you can talk to people, interact with people. They want virtual reality in real life. I think that's the end goal here. So we shall see if that happened. Oh, and I have a demo video. Again, our secret reporters there took a bootleg video of what was happening in Ingress Prime. So let's play that video here.
Link established. Field established. Excellent work. Portal link established. Field established. Excellent work.
So this is brand new Ingress Prime. This is the first time we've shown this off publicly like this.
これがイングレスプライムです。一般の人々の前で見せるのは最初のことです。
We're really excited to show you this new improved version. Has been built from the ground up. It's completely new.
イングレスプライムは全く新しいベースの上に作られています。
So why don't we talk about the inventory?
ではインベントリーについてちょっとご紹介したいと思います。
These new items are really beautiful. They're full of power, full of color, full of really exciting energy that we have to control.
新しいアイテムたちはまた全く新しくリデザインされて、よりカラフルにより力強くデザインになっています。
But more importantly, it's really fun. So how about we blow something up?
そして一番大事なのはより楽しくなっているということです。では XMP バスターをぶっ放してみましょう。
Alright, let's do it. That's cool, right?
クールですよね。
Let's do it one more time.
もう一回やってみます。
Cool. But we got plenty more to show you soon. We are so excited, and I hope you look forward more with Ingress Prime.
もっともっとこれからお見せできると思いますので、ぜひ楽しみに待っていてください。これが Ingress Prime です。
So there you go. A first look at Ingress Prime coming up. They haven't said what date it's coming. They haven't said when it is coming. So, and I have no idea. However, the new Anomaly series, has a lot to do with Ingress Prime calling back to old Anomaly series and things like that. There's, I want to say, let's see, got April, May, June. So there's like 4 months until the first Anomalies hit. So will it happen between now and then? I don't know. Will it happen after this year of Anomaly series? I don't know. I'm telling you the truth of what I know. Nobody knows when this thing is going to be released, and I'm sure Niantic will, make sure everybody knows. Everyone will know when they know when it's going to be released, because I know everyone is super excited for this. So yeah, they developed this game from the ground up. I think they were using a lot of the engine from Pokemon Go. You'll have the one thing they said they do want to add is the one finger rotation of the map for like Pokemon has. And when you think about Pokemon Go, I think, how long has Pokemon been going for? 2 years only, I think. And they've completely redesigned and redeveloped the entire gym system. They've added raids. They've added the community days. They've added so much to that game in the past 2 years. So think about Ingress Prime. When that comes out, you'll have everything you can do in the game now. And then over the next year, the next 2 years, they're probably going to be adding so much to this game. It's going to be. I'm really excited for Ingress Prime, and they can do a lot more with this new engine than they could with the previous one. Yeah, I'm super excited for Ingress Prime. I want to know the date as much as you guys do. So maybe we'll see. We'll as soon as things are announced, we'll be broadcasting and letting people know what's going on. So get excited for Ingress Prime and get excited for the anomalies. Go to ingress.com/events to see what cities these anomalies are going to be coming. In the months leading up to the Anomaly series, I want to talk about what it means to go to an anomaly, preparations and things, because I want you to be able to prepare your local teams to get excited and how these things work and what to bring and all this kind of stuff and what happens. So we'll definitely be doing some Anomaly crash course stuff in this show to come. So let's see. So moving along. We're getting close to the end of the show here. So I want to do the Ask Me Anything topic. So Andrew Krug does this thing, monthly Ask Me Anything. He posts a topic. You can ask about Ingress. So since he wasn't able to do one this month, or yet this month, I decided to take his day and do one for myself. So let's go through the questions here and let's see. So Dave M writes, how do you like your bacon? I like my bacon crispy, but just on the edge of crispiness where you can still kind of bite into it and the fat dissolves. I don't want it too crispy, but I don't like flimsy bacon. I like it just crispy enough so that the fat part of it dissolves in your mouth, and that's the best taste. Paul Timmons, when portal hunting, do you follow a bag limit? And do you follow the age and size limits? I'm concerned about portal conservation. Portals are open season, so I'm sorry I don't have a bag limit that I use or an age limit. All green portals are, subject to the hunting season, just as all of my blue portals are subject to being under attack. All portals are open season, whether they're green, blue, or gray. So get out there and take those portals and take no prisoners. That's my take on that. Ruth Alfaso says, what's the deal with otters? Let's see. Some random facts about otters that I know is they like to have a pebble or whatever that they keep with them. So they have like their favorite pebble. The other fact about otters that I know is sometimes they hold hands as they're sleeping and floating down the river. So I get, that random facts about otters that I know. Kyle T. Miller, if I had a solo cup, what color would it be? Obviously, it would be the color blue. I need a blue solo cup to counteract Andrew's red solo cup. Red Fox is my name, so he took the red solo cup, so I think I need the blue solo cup. So Julie writes, to add to Dave's question, how do you like your eggs along with said bacon? And the second part, toast or biscuit? So I like my eggs scrambled with cheese. That's my favorite way to have them. So you get bacon, scrambled eggs with cheese, and then toast or biscuit. Let's see. I'm not an English muffin fan, but I do like a good, one of those biscuits that's like almost cornbread kind of biscuits that falls apart as you're eating it. That's really good. So yeah, toast is okay, but a biscuit is definitely better. What is my favorite Furby? I never really got into the Furby craze when I was younger, so but I will say this, I did see a YouTube video where a guy converted a church organ into a Furby organ. So he had like the whole organ, spread out like that, and instead of the pipes, they were all Furbies that would say something. So I think that's my favorite Furby, is that crazy Furby organ thing. Kyle has another question. What role did you play in the Great Canadian Maple Syrup Heist, and would you do it again? Unfortunately, I can't confirm or deny my involvement in the Great Maple Syrup Heist. I don't want to go any further than that. But I am aware of what's going on with that, so I won't say anything more. Robert Grizzle sent a picture of his cat. Is it true that Canada eats more Kraft macaroni and cheese than any other country? And how many of them blue boxes you got in your pantry right now, eh? I did not know that that Canada eats more Kraft macaroni and cheese than any other country. So I can't confirm or deny the truth of that statement. And to answer your question, I have a grand total of 1 blue box of Kraft macaroni and cheese in my pantry. I double checked before. Face whiskey, are you a fan? Absolutely. I love face whiskey when I can get my hands on it. What is your favorite way of preparing caribou? So for the record, I'm not actually Canadian, so I don't know why there's so many questions about Canadians here. But yeah, caribou. Let's see. Can you make like a roast out of that? Is that like venison? Because venison sausage is pretty amazing. You can't really make a steak out of it, although caribou are bigger. So maybe I don't know. Jerky sausage. Let's go with that. If you are going to go on an all-day portal capping binge, how much bacon should you pack for the road, and does candied bacon make the capture sweeter? Let's see. So, I did go on a couple portal capturing binges during the XM project here for for that thing, the portal capture thing. What I miss is Camp Navarro. Who was it? Was it Jen? Someone brought I think it was a gallon-sized Ziploc bag of bacon that she was just handing out to people. That was probably the best thing ever at Camp Navarro, was the bag of bacon. I haven't yet replicated that on my own portal capturing binges, but that's definitely something I should look into. Can we get an official response on whether or not fakin' bacon, like turkey, tofu bacon, or any other thing not 100% from pork belly, is a violation of the spirit of true bacon and is a terms of service violation? So I think all people should be able to have forms of bacon regardless of their dietary needs or political affluence. So I think we can give a nod to turkey and tofu bacon, because some people, they just can't have bacon for whatever reason, and we need to all enjoy the spirit of bacon, as one people, so as humankind. Mustafa writes, so what is your most memorable Ingress moment? Um, I feel bad not answering this question because I just don't have enough time right now. But I think that's something we can talk about in the future. If you look back in previous shows, we've talked about some of that kind of stuff. Um, Things that rank up there: my first anomaly, Cassandra, Chicago. What else? Lighthouse tours. Going out to lighthouses on Lake Michigan. The field, the Mighty Mouse field from the rocket range, the Keweenaw rocket range. That's up there in one of my most memorable moments. Probably that would be it, but I know I'm forgetting something. So Camp Navarro was pretty awesome, and that's coming up too in May. Will there be live coverage of the Bake Anomaly? Absolutely. And actually, this is something I want to talk about. Um, I've been talking to the Iowa folks running the Bake Anomaly, and one thing I want to do is the live Anomaly broadcast like I've done. I did a test of this for XO5. I didn't do it publicly, but in the future, for Anomalies, the Portal Hunter Club is going to be your place to go for Anomaly coverage. I will be doing all day coverage of the Anomalies. We'll have the intel map. We'll be talking about what's going on in every city. I have a bunch of ideas that I haven't yet tested yet, so I don't want to talk about them too much. But yes, we're going to be doing all day Saturday broadcasts for the Anomalies, and the Bake Anomaly is a perfect test for that coverage. To see if technically we're able to do some of the things that I really want to do. So it won't just be the little live 5-minute broadcasts that I did during the Dark XM. This is going to be full on, like ESPN Sports Center. I'm going to be here all day, coffee all day, waking up early for the Europe Anomalies, going through the American Anomalies. We'll talk a little bit about the Asia ones in there. And yeah, so Portal Hunter Club, get your friends subscribed to this, because once the anomalies start, this is going to be the place to be if you can't go to an anomaly to see what's happening. Rhiannon asked if there's going to be embedded reporters. That's one of the things I want to try. So I can't promise yet, but we're definitely going to try having embedded reporters at the Bake Anomaly while I'll be broadcasting the events that happen. What is the MU multiplication factor for fielding while wearing the Mew hat? And is that how Patty fielded the world? So with the Mew hat, it's still under experimental testing, and we haven't quite fine-tuned it enough to figure out what exactly the MU multiplication factor is. However, there was an errant test that obviously has been known about where Patty fielded the world. That was one of our pre-tests, and we realized that it was way too powerful, so we had to dial it back a bit. But the Mew hat, we continue to test the Mew hat and its capabilities in fielding the world. Let's see what else here. Would you like to speculate on why Niantic used the wrong resistance key on the loading screen map? I can speculate, and I don't know. I think it was cool that they tried to do something. Yeah, they used the wrong resistance key, but whatever. I think it was a cool little thing to see when you were there and for April Fool. How long ago should Niantic have retired the Guardian badge? So I've been talking to a bunch of Resistance and Enlightened players lately, and one of the things I want to do is to talk about Guardians and stuff. Now that the Guardian badge is over, have a jaded player panel of people whose Guardians have been hunted and kind of talk about the Guardian badge. There's a lot of animosity. A lot of people liked it. That was their part of the game. There was a lot of, I think the Guardian is very interesting what's been happening through the years. So I want to talk more about the Guardian badge the episodes to come here. Do you think Niantic will ever do away with the recruiter badge? I don't think so. I mean, well, the problem is I would have silver recruiter badge if people did the thing properly. Maybe it was my fault and I didn't use the right email, or I sent it to them and they used a different email, or I don't know how. The problem is I don't know how the recruiter badge works and how to get them, how to get my recruits to count for my badge. So I should have silver, but I don't. So that's the one thing that upsets me about the recruiter badge is it's never been clear to me how you go about getting that. Do you think they'll add a new badge to replace the Guardian? I don't know. I mean, there's so many badges now that are help you get to level 16. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Can we get a Guardian Hunter's badge now? I'm sure they don't want to do that. That's the lowest thing on their agenda. With the Guardian badge gone, what are all the Guardian spoofing bots going to do for fun? They're probably going to farm gear and sell it on eBay. That's my guess. Any update on Ingress Prime release date? I have no idea. I do not work for Niantic. No one has told me. I have literally no idea. I can speculate, and I have strong suspicions of when it's going to come. I strongly suspect it will come before the Anomaly series, but again, I don't know. They said it was supposed to come before the end of last year, and it didn't. So I don't know. I don't know when Ingress Prime is coming out. End of story. How much coffee is required before OPR? I had coffee and I didn't have enough of it this morning, so I'm running on empty, and I'll probably need some more before. My thoughts on lasagna, yay or nay? Obviously, as a part Italian, I love lasagna. I love spaghetti. I love all Italian foods. So yes, lasagna is definitely on my list. I'm just curious if you'd be willing to address a leading question which advances my narrative. As long as I can twist that into my narrative and allow your question to promote my narrative and sort of drown yours out, then yes. And that's the reason I have a YouTube. So, and will you be the A to my Q? I think I've done that about 36 comments or 26 times. So sure, why not? So yeah, so that's the Ask Me Anything for this week. Maybe I'll do another one. I don't know. But feel free to call and tell us your feelings, ask me questions, whatever you want to do. Email me, portalhunter@resradio.net. Yeah. So there's a question in the chat. Wonder why Ingress has developed slower compared to Pogo, held back by the engine or popularity. I have a few thoughts on that. I think Pokemon Go obviously is a huge moneymaker for Niantic, and it was important to get that out there and ready. I know they had a lot of difficulties scaling Pokemon Go. It was way, way more popular than they ever suspected it was going to be. So I think they had to move a lot of resources just to make sure Pokemon Go was working properly and technical wise. They worked a lot with the Google Cloud team. They had that blog post from whenever that came out, talking about Pokemon Go, scaling it and all that kind of stuff. So I think they just had to pour so many more resources into Pokemon than Ingress. The other thing is, from what I've heard over the 5 years of playing this game, is that Ingress is very difficult to develop for in the current state. So they wanted to move it to something that is more feasible, which is I think is why they're moving it to the Pokemon engine and that kind of stuff. But I'm really excited for Ingress Prime. I think watching Pokemon Go develop from what it was in the beta to now, they just launched that research thing. That's really cool. Like I said, the raids, they redid the entire gym system, and they did that pretty quickly. So compared to some of the things they developed in Ingress, I think if we can see some of that haste in developing new features in Ingress, I think Ingress has a bright future. I think there's a lot coming, and I think when Ingress Prime comes out, people are going to be excited. And remember, when it comes out, it's only supposed to be everything you can currently do in the game. So there's not going to be any flashy new stuff yet. I mean, it'll look different, obviously, but there's not really going to be many new features from what they've said. So don't expect world changing. I mean, I guess all the visuals changing is world changing, but don't expect any crazy new features until down the line. They want to make sure they have the game that they have now, that they're able to do that successfully. So thank you guys for joining. I know we went a little over today, but I think that was all right. Do that, ask me anything, and a lot of people were excited for Ingress Prime and everything. So, yeah, we will. Dark XM project is over, so we'll be returning to our normal. I mean, this is the normal show, but we'll be talking about anomalies coming up. We'll be talking about Ingress Prime as we hear more about that. What else is? Oh, Camp Navarro is coming up. They announced Niantic announced the Ingress Olympiad. One of our locals here from Sheboygan went to Japan for the Ingress Olympiad. So I've been trying to get him to send me some stuff, and we can talk about that. That's a really cool thing. That's where they rented that amusement park at night. They gave everyone a phone with a scanner and a certain amount of gear, and it really tested their skills because they weren't able to really interact with people outside of the world, and they couldn't use their own gear. They couldn't use their own stats. They were just given a account full of gear and said, here's the challenges, and hope that they could complete those. So. You got Camp Navarro coming up in both US and Europe. That's sort of the Burning Man type thing with some of the art installations that become portals. I did that last year and it was really cool. So if you're thinking about joining a team, definitely do it. Get on board with a team. There's some cool portal ideas out there already. Again, Ingress Olympiad is coming up. They have signups for that, and the Anomaly series are coming up. So watch for flight deals, watch for hotel deals, get with your local communities, and we'll definitely be talking more about the anomalies as they come forward. Oh, and the Bake Anomaly is coming up. The Bake Anomaly on May 5th. So, yeah, there's a lot to look forward to in the world of Ingress. This is only the very beginning with all that stuff coming up. So get excited. Spring is coming. Summer's coming. Get out there and play, and we will see you next week when we talk more about what's going on with that kind of stuff. Have a good day, everyone.